So learning in theory is completely different to learning in practice with regards to overcoming social anxiety, socializing and getting more comfortable around people and being more confident and being able to be yourself and be honest and enjoy, talking to people. So a lot of people typically, especially this generation, even generation before, they get addicted to collecting theory and knowledge. And they're kind of in hope that reading books and watching loads of videos and consuming facts and statistics, they somewhere they rationalize that that's going to fix their social challenges, their relationship challenges and their anxiety, and it's not. You're not going to fix the problem that way. You're not going to learn how to be calm in situations that can stress you out, that can make you nervous or embarrassed or intimidated. And I always give the analogy, when I first started doing amateur boxing, I was absolutely terrified. I was listening to George St. Pierre speak on a podcast. He's so inspiring. He was so honest about how frightened and he was absolutely terrified before he had his UFC fights. He even went to see professionals to try and calm down. Once he got in the ring, he was brilliant. One of the greats, as you guys know, one of the GOATs of the sport, George St. Pierre, GSP. So you learn through experience, but you have to go through that stressful situation hundreds of times until you get calmer under that sort of pressure and stress. And that's how I learned in amateur boxing. If I would have read books on how to be less nervous in the sparring, it would never have worked. It didn't work. I tried it. There's no book in the world, or there's no paragraph that I could read that would take away my anxiety and the stress and the fight or flight that I would experience in boxing and sparring. The only way I could overcome it was by getting the mentorship, the tutelage from the coaches, listening to them, and actually putting myself through that experience. Every week we did it. I think on a Tuesday and a Thursday, I'd spar twice a week. So I had to do it for weeks and weeks and months until finally I started to develop that behavioural. I improved my behaviour. I could behave better. I got calmer under pressure through experience, through doing it, and my body would adapt. I just got better in that situation by putting myself in that situation, and the confidence that I gained came from knowing that I could handle the sparring a little bit better each and every time. So the first time I sparred, I fell apart with anxiety. I froze up, couldn't handle it very well. The second time, same thing. The third time, the same thing. The fourth time, I got a little bit better. And obviously, because I got the, approval from the coaches who said, "Oh, you did well today," and I was like, "Did I really do well? Oh, great!" It made me feel really good about myself. So that made me go into the next sparring session, the fifth or sixth time, with a little bit more confidence, feeling better about myself. And then obviously I started to enjoy it. And that's a huge part of overcoming fear and anxiety, is you start to enjoy the situation, which you initially hated it. People hate it. I understand. I've been there. They dread it. Same with sales. There's no sales book that I could read that's going to take away my anxiety and my fear. I had to get on the sales call. I had to go to loads of business meetings to face that anxiety, to experience it. Exactly the same procedure with the sparring. The same thing happened. Same with asking women out. That terrible anxiety. Sorry, this chair's breaking. I don't know how this chair's breaking. I'm getting lighter, losing weight. That's strange. So that dreaded anxiety that all men experience, and anyone, with asking someone out on a date, that fear of the person rejecting you, or that fear of getting awkward or nervous or embarrassing yourself or making a fool of yourself or saying the wrong things or not knowing what to say. I had to put myself in that situation and practice until I could manage those feelings and anxieties better, until eventually I got a date and a woman said, "Yes, would like to go out with you," and we went out, it worked out, and we ended up forming a relationship. So same with the YouTube videos. When I first started doing live streams and public speaking, there's no book that I could have read that would have taught me how to be more relaxed on camera. The only way I could get more relaxed on camera was by getting on camera and making hundreds of thousands of videos and working through those anxieties and learning how to breathe and relax more and be calmer and speak more. You learn through doing it. So it's a different type of learning or learned that you need. Now, of course, studying for other areas, books will be a great solution because that's a different domain, but we're not talking about different situations or domains which require theoretical learning or theory, where there's certain things where you need to read a book, you need information, but in this area you don't need books. It's actually, books will inhibit you. It's actually an inconvenience, it actually makes it worse. So you don't need, there's a time you need a hammer and there's a time you need a screwdriver. You don't use a screwdriver in a situation where a hammer's needed. It's not going to work. So it's knowing what tools you need at what right time. So with social anxiety or all phobias, boxing, public speaking, selling, first dates, asking someone out, the solution you need is a practical one, and that's taking action. And of course, some people are so overwhelmed that they need a more gentle approach. So if I'm working with a client, helping them through anxiety, and they're really overwhelmed, I'll be more patient. You run them through the fear at a slower pace until they can handle it more, where other people, they can dive more in the deep end. So an example, if I've got a client who is petrified of public speaking, well, I'm not going to make them do it straight away. I might take them out for a coffee and just get them used to having a chat with me over a coffee in a public place where there might be 5 people or 10 people, so they can just get used to talking in front of that many people. Until they get more tolerant and comfortable, then we can step up and get them to speak to a group. So basically, if someone's really scared of public speaking, I'm going to fix this chair, I'm going to buy a new one. Then I get them to talk to one person. One person will be quite daunting. When they get comfortable, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up until 10, 20, 30, and so forth. Can you see my point here? So you expose yourself gradually, you practice, you build a tolerance, you become desensitized to fear and anxiety and adrenaline in whatever situation is fearful for you. So for example, for me, traveling to another country was a big phobia and anxiety I personally had in my life. So the way I beat it was by doing it. There was no book that I could have read on, how do I overcome my fear of, going to another country, getting on a plane, checking in. How can I learn to cope under that pressure? I had to do it. So I took 2 trips to Germany. The first trip I did way better than I thought because I have a lot of experience as a teacher, a practitioner. The second trip was, was just easy, much easier because of the first one, And if I do more traveling, which I will, it's going to be so much easier because I've got experience. I've got real practical experience. I can build on that. And the confidence that I've got is from the experience that I gained. I have positive reference points. I went Germany twice on my own. I've been to Poland and Prague with a friend, and I went Germany with friends before. I've been to Spain with a friend. So we build a better psychology on things that we've done. We have a point of reference. We can anchor our self-esteem, good memories, and we can take that into the future. So that's another way in which coaching works. So before this chair breaks, this is how you overcome any fear, any phobia, especially around social phobia, social anxieties, public speaking, selling, first dates, speaking in front of the camera, job interviews, traveling, public places, even sparring. These are all the tools that you need, all right? Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, share, subscribe. I'm going to fix this chair and enjoy the rest of my weekend. Any questions, let me know in the box below. And this is the teaching. This is how you do it.